Hey, welcome everybody. Welcome to the Athlete in the 519. This week's guest is Chuck Mady. I appreciate you coming on. Thanks very much. We're just going on a little bit early. Of course, I got hockey to go do. And anyways, we got things to do. But anyways, I'd like to thank Tim Campbell and Century 21. Thanks for sponsoring this show. For everything in real estate, give Tim Campbell a call at 519-259-9999. So, Chuck, every time I have somebody on here, do you go by Chuck or Chucky or just?
Doesn't matter.
No.
Whatever, yeah.
We usually ask you about growing up in the 519. Obviously, everybody knows Jeff Lindsay. Thanks for jumping on board. Obviously, everybody knows your father. I think I've known him since I was like 5. I knew who he was, but tell us a little bit about growing up. Were you thrown right into the karate and?
Yeah. Well, my dad's been teaching martial arts full time for over 50 years, right? So that's his full time job. Instead of being a babysitter, I would go with him to the gym, sit, play with my toys and whatnot. And I guess when I was 3 years old, I just got up and started copying what he was doing when he was teaching class.
Oh yeah.
And he kept his mouth shut, and I continued on from there. Because I know as a kid, like I have 3 kids of my own, 3 boys. If I tell them like good job, or if they start copying what I'm doing and I start talking to them and saying stuff, they run and go play, and I think it's a game, right? So I think he did that the same thing with me. He just kept his mouth shut, and I continued on.
And when did you think it's like you got a little more serious, or your dad got more serious for you?
I started competing when I was 4 in karate tournaments. I started kickboxing in tournaments when I was 7. MMA when I was 15, and I turned pro when I was 17.
So let me ask you about 4, 5, 7, or whatever, 10. Like you guys are kicking to the head, or you just, or is it like below the belt?
Yeah. So there was modified rules. Some of the time it was like if it was just a touch to the head, you can't really full out hit. But when I was kickboxing at 7, it was full out everything, right? So
because back then it
was kickboxing. We were fighting in Detroit once every month. At Caribou Super Kicks. We would fight once every Friday.
And it'd be like 7-year-olds like brawling.
Yeah, it was. I would fight Nick Group, Kerry's son. So him and I would have wars. There's still a picture in his gym right now above the ring of Nick and I competing.
And you're both 7 years old.
We were 7, yeah.
So, and then did you actually fight the same guy for years?
Nick for a long time until a little bit older. Then they started getting some more people into it. Some more kids were starting to compete, and we just beat up everybody, right?
Yeah.
So we fought everybody.
Like, did you have a chance? Did you play other sports, or was generally I was done? I went to this and went to that.
Yeah. So I played soccer, like very minimal when I was younger, and then in high school I was wrestling.
Oh yeah.
I'm still a coach at St. Joe's. I've been the coach pretty much since I graduated.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then, so obviously, when you were doing karate growing up, did you do wrestling, or you just kind of
so
into it in high school?
My dad started in wrestling before he did karate, right? He started in judo, and then he wrestled in grade school and high school, and was doing karate as well. So I always had that background, the base, but I never really took the wrestling serious. I look back at it now, it's like I should have taken it more serious when I was in high school. I could have done a lot better. I'm a very successful wrestling coach. I bring people to OFSA. I have gold medalists on my team that I coach. So a lot of people in the city that fight, they're wrestling, and if I've coached them, or if they went to St. Joe's and they're fighting, their wrestling is my wrestling. So I do have a dominant wrestling style when it comes to things. I wasn't the greatest wrestler in high school, but now looking back at it, I take it a little bit more serious. So. Oh
yeah, absolutely. And then you find the kids, do they enjoy it? I remember wrestling back when I went too.
For sure.
It's kind of, do they still wear the tight outfits and all that?
The singlets, yeah. And I explain to them though, I work full time. I have the dojo. I have to go train, teach people. And I got 3 kids, so I'm volunteering as a coach, right? So if you're not going to give me 100%, I'm not going to show up. Then there's no team.
Yeah, absolutely.
So at least give me 100%. I'm coming here as a volunteer. I'm not getting paid to do this. I'm doing it because I love it and I want them to learn.
Did you put St. Joe's on the map? Or
Yeah. They were good for a long. When I was in high school, there was a lot of good wrestlers, and then it just dropped off for a bit, and then I started building it back up. I have OFSA gold medalists, silver medalists. I have people on the podium every year at OFSA.
So it's interesting that, just I'm surprised that you fought at 7 years old or 8 years old, even 10 years old. Even like when I boxed, I think it was like they didn't really want you boxing till you were like 10 or 12.
Yeah.
But I guess it's a different kind of, because it's all technique, right?
For sure.
And now, did you ever get like a bad blow to the head, like before you really got into it?
Not necessarily. No. With Kerry Roop, when he was doing his fights, he was doing it safe. He wanted people to get the experience. That's why I have over 300 fights, because of certain things like that. And then tournament style, I have to fight 3 to 4 fights in the same day.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. So I have over 300 fights now. And with Kerry, though, if he noticed somebody was getting injured or somebody was getting the better of them, he would stop the fight.
Oh yeah.
He would just stop the fight just because it was more exhibition.
Yeah.
Like he wants people to get the experience and then be able to fight again.
So when does it become? I mean, I watched some of these fights you do, and when does it all of a sudden you say, you know, I'm pretty good at this. I'm gonna give it a go.
I was.
Or
always,
you never really knew. You just did it.
I was always doing it. My dad's trained everybody in this city. Anybody that's done anything. So I was always going to the fights, helping corner, I guess, with my dad, or just going there with him to these competitions. And then finally, when I was old enough or able to, or he would have to sign a waiver for certain fights, I was doing it because I was already training with all these guys.
Did you find it hard to find partners?
No, because my dad had all these seasoned fighters for a long time, right? So I just continued on training with them and then took it serious.
And so, I mean, there had to be a time when you say, okay, I'm going to go pro. Or
yeah.
Was the Olympics in your future? Were you looking at the Olympics?
So there was no Olympics for kickboxing. There was only really boxing. There was no karate. There wasn't anything like that. They're talking about Olympics for like Muay Thai kickboxing and whatnot. Who knows? Because it's amateur, right? So I've been a pro for almost 20 years.
Yeah.
And but you got to look at some of the other sports. Here's my complaint: why is there pros in other sports in the Olympics?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Boxing,
so
everything.
they want the best in the world. The Olympics supposed to be the best in the world. Why can't you allow some pros in there for certain events? Right. So
yeah, that's interesting.
I turned pro when I was 17 because I was getting sick of the politics of the amateur scene and not making money doing what I love. So
doing what I love.
Yeah. So when I if I'm gonna get hit or I'm gonna hit somebody, I'd rather get paid for it.
So let me ask you. So I mean, and it's very interesting to watch some of your fights that I was watching on YouTube. But how does it change? Like, so I mean, you're just fighting amateur, so it's amateur. Now you fight for money.
Yeah.
Where's the are you kicking harder?
So it's a different animal. It's mentally, you have to be mentally ready for it. And I'm looking at like, you're taking money out of my pocket. I have kids. I've had kids. I had my first child at 23. So it's like you're taking food off my kid's plate.
Yeah.
So
that's your motivation.
That's my motivation, right? I have to make some money to help for my kids. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
My kids' future. So
I mean, whether you have a job or not, it doesn't matter because the job is. Yeah, it pays the bills and that, but this fighting, it costs a lot to travel.
That's all covered by the promoters. Right?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so I get paid to show up, paid to win. My meals are covered, hotel, flights, everything.
Oh, yeah.
It's all covered by the promoters.
Oh, that's good.
So you got to negotiate all these contracts and whatnot.
So from 17 on to, you're how old now?
I'll be 37 in October.
So, and you've been in that, do you fight like once a year?
So when I was younger, I was fighting a lot. And then I took a 5-year hiatus. I just stopped competing in general. I was training, I was teaching, I wasn't competing because I wanted to get my life together. I was graduating college, I had my first child, I was getting married. I wanted to just get my life together before anything because one injury will screw you over, right?
Oh yeah, so you gotta be full
so
on.
I wanted to make sure I was focused and ready and to come back, and I made my comeback. I've traveled the world pretty much fighting. I fought in Singapore, Indonesia, Amsterdam, Bahrain, Jordan. I've flown everywhere and competed.
Aside from Windsor being the best place to find fighters, what is there a certain place you go to and go, man, these guys are good, or they have a good training system?
So you got to think about it this way. A lot of good fighters come from Windsor, but when we travel to different European countries and whatnot to fight, that's their job. Their government pays them as an athlete. We have to go to school, we have to work, and then we have training. And they're like, how are you beating us when we're training? This is all we're doing. All we do is train. All we do is train, we get paid to do this. And you guys are working, going to school full time and doing all this stuff on the side. Yeah. And you're winning.
That's interesting.
Right? So you gotta look at how we train. Like in Canada, our athletes don't get that much respect
Yeah.
or any government support or any really support.
Absolutely.
If I crossed the border to Detroit, I'd have sponsors throwing money at me for fun.
Yeah.
Here in Canada, it's just tough. It's like pulling teeth to get anything out of it.
That's it. So, and that
For
goes
every
as well
sport.
for the Olympics,
For every
for
sport.
the Olympic fighters and
Exactly.
so on. They
Exactly.
get nothing. They have to raise their own money.
Exactly.
Yeah. Whole
Yeah.
fundraisers and so
Yeah,
on.
exactly.
Forget all about that. All right, make sure you guys thank Tim Campbell in Section 21 for sponsoring our show. 519-259-9999. For everything in real estate, give Tim Campbell a call. So, I mean, I was looking at some of the trophies you have and the belts you have, and I mean, you've been around for a long time with a lot of belts.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, when you win, I'm trying to think of, you win a fight or you lose a fight. That's probably, does it weigh on you for months?
Oh, yes and no, depending on how the loss is, right? If I'm getting ripped off by the judges or the ref, or it's my fault, like I slipped, like maybe I could have been winning the fight, like it's happened in Windsor. I was winning the fight, and then the end of the second round, I slipped and got back up, and I got cracked.
Oh, you got dinged.
And I got cracked, and it's like, okay, that's,
Oh.
you know what I mean? So it could be my fault or the refs. I've had a lot of bad judging and bad reffing, especially crossing the border. Yeah, it's just bias too sometimes. When I fought in Indonesia back in December, it was I fought the Indonesian. I won first 2 rounds, and then the third round was a draw, and he beat me by 1 point, which didn't make any sense to me because I'm fighting the Indonesian in Indonesia.
Yeah.
They're trying to give their guy like the
Yeah,
win,
they're
right?
popping up the Indonesian.
Yeah, and it sucked because everybody's like, you won the fight. I said, yeah, I know, I'm not hurt. And then he went on and made it to the finals and got knocked out.
And then you're like, that should be
but it was my fault for not throwing as much as I should have, and I had the opportunity of doing it, like beating him really good or knocking him out, but I was just, it was the first round, like I was seated, so I got to buy the first round, and I was in there just trying to get my groove, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. That's interesting though, that you would wait to, hurt him by the second round or try and beat him by the second round.
Yeah.
And that's, I always wonder, is like, when you go in and say you're fighting in Indonesia or wherever, Germany, and you're going into a fight knowing that the German guy's the fan favorite. Sure. Are you saying, man, I got to knock him out or I'm not getting this? Do you think that way, or you just say, I'm sticking to my plan? 9
times out of 10, you got to think that way because you never know. If it goes to the judge's decision and you're fighting a local, you're not going to win.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is in any sport, right? Like, if you...
That's curious, is like, because really there's not a way you can really fix it.
No.
And which is too bad.
Right. Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know how else you would fix it. Unless computers got involved somehow.
Something, yeah.
Like they do for baseball now, and showing the pitches and that. But I don't know. They'd almost have to go back, rerun the whole fight, and have guys looking at this over here, and then the guys at the actual ringside.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but that's that's all money too, right?
Exactly.
That changes things, so how is does it get to you? Do you think you can fight till you're 40, or do you?
Oh, I'm gonna keep fighting for a long time. Yeah, my oldest son is competing, and he's 13 now. He's taller than me. He's a soccer player. He's a goalie for Tecumseh United.
Oh, nice.
He's doing really good with soccer, and he's competing full contact. He knocked 3 guys out in New York with body shots, and he's taking after me when it comes to that, right? His spin kicks, he's got a spin kick from hell like I do, and like once he turns 18, he's gonna turn pro and he's gonna fight, and I'm hoping I can still compete at that level and fight on the same card as him. That's my goal. God. So I want to be on the same like MMA fight or kickboxing or whatever with my son. Wow. So at least another 5 years I got in me.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you ever had any serious injuries just from this, or
not from actually fighting, but actually training or doing something?
Really?
Yeah, I've never really been hurt really bad in a fight. I tore my lateral meniscus warming up.
Really?
Yeah. Popped my hamstring, and then I found out it was my meniscus, and I had a tear, and that's why my hamstring popped. And that was just training, warming up.
Wow.
Right, so I fractured my thumb sparring. One of our guys, Tom Berry, he's just boxing now because he had some surgeries done. But I broke my thumb on his head, and we weren't going hard. We did 10 rounds. It was like 30 seconds left. I switched to southpaw, threw left hand, and broke my thumb on his head.
Now, does that come with age though, as you get older, or you just? It's just an accident.
Yeah, I've taken care of myself. I've taken care of my body for the most part. My training's a little bit. I'm training smarter now. I'm not training like we did in the back in the day where we were just beating the hell out of each other and beating up our body, doing crazy things. Right. I'm training smarter. My conditioning and cardio is great. It's just I'm overweight, so I gotta cut the weight. It's just changing the diet, right? So.
And how much do you fight at? 140?
I used to fight at 135, and then I got older and I couldn't do it, so I got down to 145. So I'm between 145 and 155. I'm fighting. Right now I'm about 165.
Now, does that make it harder as you go up, or you just have more strength in your?
No, I just feel stronger. Like if I don't have much to cut, because a lot of people cut weight, suck weight, and if they're not doing it properly, they have to rehydrate. They're gonna feel like shit. You can tell by the way. You can look in their eyes at the weigh-ins. Like you see how they're gonna perform.
Now I gotta ask you. I had Todd Mady on here once, and I just said, have you ever been in like a street fight? Like people have something to say to you, or I mean, you don't have to name names or get yourself in trouble, but has it ever happened like guys are mouthing off to you and you're just like, or have you learned just to talk your way out of it?
I've bounced for years.
Now
I'm just bartending because I don't want to deal with the hassle anymore. But back at the beach, it would be a bunch of fighters from my dad's gym working with me doing security, and they would have to change a window once a week.
Oh, guess what?
So the Hogans are like, can you guys stop throwing people through the window? Just like, so they're like, we gotta keep replacing these windows. Right? Well, tell them to stop messing around, you know.
And that just goes to show you that, like, yeah, I know, but you never pick a fight.
No, and then you look at it this way. With my situations, I'm a smaller guy. It's either like they're crazy to have this little guy as a bouncer, or he knows something. You know what I mean? So
yeah. Like, and then they want to challenge you because you know something,
right?
So that's interesting. That's funny though. Yeah. But I mean, it's always good. I remember when I boxed, I could control. Like I'm going, hey man, let me just buy you a beer. I don't want any trouble and so on. Yeah. And I think I only got in one fight because of it, but just was nothing. But anyways, I remember it taught me just to control yourself instead of controlling them. So anyway, so the fights come on and so on. So I think we talked about preparing and all that. So most interesting one. So the Guinness, you're on the. Is it called American Got Talent or Canadian Got Talent?
I was on Canada's Got Talent. I was a semi-finalist.
Yeah.
And then last year I was in Italy breaking the record again on the Guinness show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's this earlier picture.
So that one's when I first broke the record. I was on a podcast.
Oh yeah.
So that one, I broke the record on a podcast. Canada's Got Talent caught a wind of it and asked me to come on the show. I did it, made it to the semifinals, and then it was during the pandemic, so we had a lot of testing going on because of Howie Mandel. He's a germaphobe, so we had to make sure we were tested like crazy and all this other stuff. And all of a sudden, they didn't send Guinness down because people weren't flying in anywhere, so it was difficult. So I'm like, I said, can you guys send the video and all that stuff to Guinness so I can get my new record? I already had the record, but I broke it on the show, and they didn't do it. So Italy has a Guinness show, and they called me. They said, "Hey, we want you to come to Italy and break it on our show." Yeah, okay, cool. Flew me out to Italy, and so I was in Milan and broke the record.
And so, like, but you're tearing off beer cans, right? So, So, and what did you see this somewhere? And you go, "Shit, I could do that."
I was doing it when I was younger, just 16 and down, right? And excuse me. And back in 2011, they had the Guinness World Record show on TV. And my girlfriend at the time, my wife now, we were watching TV, and she's like, "You do that all the time." There was this one guy doing it, and he created the record. He did 11 in 1 minute. So during this podcast, because I sent out a video to Guinness, and they're like, "Oh, we need a 1 minute video. We need timekeepers. We need the whole guideline, right?"
Oh yeah.
I don't have time for this, so I threw it in the back burner. During the pandemic, this one guy was doing security at the beer store, and it's like, "Hey, we want you on my podcast. Talk about your fight career, and let's break this Guinness World Record on our show." I'm like, "They're like, we'll handle everything." We did, broke the record. I did 24 in a minute at that time.
24 in a minute?
It was a drinking podcast, right? So it's like we're there doing a show shot right away, and then we're drinking the whole time. We're waiting for a timekeeper, so we're just continue drinking. I would go to the washroom, I'm like, man, I don't think I can do this right now.
For speed. I've been drinking.
I can't even see right now. And
awesome.
So I did 24 in a minute, and that was the first time ever doing it. And I said I'll never do it with like 7-Up or Sprite or Coke or any of that because they're sticky. Like it was everywhere. I'm like, I'll do like carbonated water or something. I'm not going to waste beer because it's too much.
Oh, so these aren't beers that you're
No,
ripping?
I can do beer cans, but I'm
Yeah,
not gonna
yeah.
waste it, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I'm grabbing and throwing it. So I grab like the carbonated water. It's just easier that way.
Oh, yeah.
It's not as sticky. So I started doing that. I did 24 on that show. Canada's Got Talent, I did unofficially 41, and then in Italy I did 35 officially.
Yeah. So 35 in
35 in a minute, yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
And when you were on the show, you were doing different things on the show, though. You were breaking.
Later on I did, yeah.
Oh, yeah?
And with the breaking, that was my dad's breaking show that he used to do on ESPN.
Oh, yeah?
So I wanted to do it, and with him helping me on stage, they have the World Breaking Championships in Florida. I was supposed to go this year, but I was in Tennessee for an event. So next year, I posted a video of me doing the show, and I said, "Breakers beware, I'm coming."
Oh, yeah?
Because they have qualifiers, and because my dad was world champion, and they started doing these shows because of him, they consider me as a legacy, and I don't have to do the qualifiers. I'm automatically in.
Oh, wow.
I was getting messages from all these people like, "You're coming, please. We want Real Breakers
Oh,
again."
yeah,
You see
yeah,
all
yeah,
this
yeah.
crap online now, right? And they're like, "Real Breakers are finally coming." Like, yeah, I'll be there. Like, I'm going next year in July. I'll be in Florida and competing in the World Championships.
Well, I guess that talks about what's up next for you,
Right.
that's for sure. Now, I got to ask you about the cans, though.
Yeah.
Like, you're tearing the cans off.
Yeah.
Or do you slice open your
No,
chin?
when
your
I'm
lips,
doing when I'm doing it for speed, I don't cut myself. I usually bite my lip because I'm like constantly pulling and biting. So sometimes like my tooth will go through my lip, but it doesn't cut me because it's very sharp. I know how to do it, so
Pull
I
it
don't.
off?
Yeah, I don't. So
I was
don't
thinking,
cut
I was
myself.
watching, I'm going, holy man.
Yeah.
I just imagine, like,
I bit my lip.
because you only need one can to just slice
Yeah,
it, right?
yeah.
And then
So
all
the
of a
way
sudden-
I'm pulling it down or pulling it away, I'm pulling it away from me. I'm not.
Yeah.
So the sharpness is at the bottom, not the top. Yeah.
So that's up next week. So you're going down to Florida?
I'll be going to Florida in July of next year, but this year in November I have two offers for fights. November 21st, either in Fort Wayne, Indiana, or November 28th in Winnipeg. They're both on the table. I'm just trying to figure out.
Do you get sponsors from here?
I try, yeah.
Yeah.
When I fought in Indonesia, I had about a dozen sponsors. So I always try to get sponsors. And,
Well, there you go. You guys can help
right.
them out.
You can go to
Some sponsors.
millions.co. You can order my merch. You see, I got the
Oh,
the
yeah,
logo
there you
right
go.
there. Shirts. You can order the shirts online.
Checky Mady.
And so the fight's there. But I'm going overseas in October. I'll be gone for 3 weeks to Jordan, visiting family, celebrating my birthday and cousin's wedding. So I'll be there training as well for 3 weeks. I was just in Florida back in April training with Mike Perry and Phil Rowe and all these guys. So
How long do you have to train? Is it 3 months? Okay, I'm going to get real serious. And
I'm constantly training, so my condition and cardio are fine. It's just my weight.
yeah,
Management. I if I'm eating and drinking whatever I want, like my cardio conditioning is good, but if the fight's at 145, I got to start dieting properly. I need at least 8 weeks to like get that diet and everything down and not suffer last minute cut the water weight, right? Like I can do it. I've lost 20 pounds in like 6 days and I felt like crap, but
yeah, that's
you
right.
can do it. I just don't like to do it. I like
Yeah.
to do it naturally and feel healthy.
Yeah, and
So-
by the time the weigh-in is, you're
Yeah,
fine.
exactly.
You're not worrying about. And then once you have the weigh-in, you can just eat.